What's up, folks? Just pop in like that. How's everybody doing? Let me figure things out here. I'm lagging a little bit on my end. So just give me a minute. Yeah. Let me readjust here. I may not have YouTube tonight. Sometimes it does that. I don't know why. Let's try again. But yeah, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's well. Smoochy and Nightmare, bless you, and welcome. Let some people wander in. Hopefully Edna comes in and I don't have to say her name 3 times. She sent me an email. But other than that, I hope everybody's having a good week so far. It is hump day. Well, actually it's Thursday, so we're over hump day now. And that's about it. Not much going on. Me tonight. Not sure about tomorrow night. It's not Pixie. I don't think we're streaming tomorrow, so Pixie will be next Thursday. Me and Gemma Friday night. I should say Gemma and me. At 7:15 to whenever. Try to get your name on by 9:30 on my list. She starts early, so you might want to show up early. And then I'll be here Saturday night, hopefully. I should be. For Gemma's replay. Hope you all show up for that. Remember, Gemma's books. Book 3 is out for Campfire Stories, and Gone Volume 3 is out. Just check them out. Give them some ratings. Give her number 1. We'll see what else. Remember, no money's tight for everybody, but if you can donate, help keep the channel going, that would be appreciative. Highly appreciative, actually. Other than that, I'll get into some. I got one story I want to tell. I'm going to try to make it worth something and try to kick it up a notch. It's a good one. It was one that happened to me by myself. So then see how it goes from there and see how long we go. I try on Wednesday nights to go at least 2. Come in, have a seat, chat it up, and that's about it. See what's going on. I don't know if Gemma's releasing. I don't think she is releasing a video tomorrow. So at 11 or 12, whatever. So, but keep your eyes peeled just in case. See what else. I'm kind of lagging. I've been go the last 3 days, man. Just trying to get stuff done. If I can get things done early, I can enjoy a little bit of the fall. So, Pop wants to go for vacation. I'd like to get him out of here for a while before anything happens. So, we're talking about going on vacation. I think I'm going to actually take him somewhere too. I want him to have a little bit of fun. And other than that, that's my words tonight. Other than that, or how you all do. But yeah, we'll get into the counters here in a minute. Vacation, nice, yeah. Well, he's on vacation actually, all for the rest of his life. But yeah, he needs to get out of the house. He needs to go somewhere for a couple of days and kind of forget about this place. But I'm trying to get some things done so we can do that and be. I know that he's gone and enjoy himself because this stuff is done. You know what I'm saying? So that's the goal. But yeah, we're talking about taking off for maybe about a week or so. Just get out of here. It's been a while since he wandered the land, I should say. I don't blame him. He needs to get out. We're going to go down to see Tim, my oldest, but he doesn't want to go to Tennessee. He wants to go somewhere else. So we'll see what happens. I was going to take him to Disneyland, but he's all over Disneyland. So I don't think he'd make the drive because he won't fly. So we'll see what happens. But we will get out of here. He definitely wants to leave the state. He did make that a statement. So. Anybody getting? Well, actually, I got a couple ideas, but we'll see. And watch out with the heat. Yeah, that's a big thing. I think that's why I'm trying to get things done now, that we can go into fall so it's not so hot on me. Right now, it's nice here, dude. It is. Today was 86. Nice cool breeze blowing. The only thing was, if you stood in direct sunlight, you felt that sun. But if you were out moving around, you weren't bad at all. I mean, I've been able to get a lot of work done outside and inside because of it. Hey, Latro, hey, what's up? Okay. Took a shower. I just said, screw it. I hope everybody's good. I hope you're having a good week so far, Latro. Ryan pops in. We'll see about tomorrow. But right now, I know he's got a lot going on, so I'm not pushing with him. Yeah, the sun is real beautiful. Brutal. Yes, it is. Yeah, because you sit in the shade, or if you keep moving, it's not bad. But if you sit down and just sat in the sun, you could literally feel the heat. Touch the side of the house, anything, and it's hot. But if you move, like I said, if you're moving and keeping busy, you might sweat a little bit, but man, it's not bad at all. I know this morning when I was up, it was gorgeous out there. Sun was, just rising. Temperature was just perfect. I like it anywhere between. Well, actually, I like it cold. But now at this age, I like it anywhere between about 45 and 65. Those are that's a perfect range for me. Polishing a ribeye. Dog getting the scraps. Yeah, Puff gets his too. What do we have tonight? Oh, I made a chicken and gravy biscuit mashed potato casserole. I swear when I was younger, it wasn't so powerful. No, it's getting hot. And right now we're in solar maximum. I mean, we are consistently getting hit with solar flares right now. Some of them have been X flares. So if you're up north enough, and you should be able to, well, I don't know, Smith, you may not be able to see them. I mean, some of them strong enough, you might, but I doubt it. But Ohio, on this latitude, you should keep an eye on these clear skies because you should be getting auroras big time. There should be some nighttime color change. So check it out. Keep your eyes peeled. So yeah, auroras are happening right now. And it's all kind of other funny things going on in the skies all over. I mean, you almost can't hit a channel without somebody saying, man, you see that in the sky? So yeah. In Louisiana, yeah, there's a couple of them you might get lucky on. They're thinking we're going to get hit with another big one. So, we get hit with another big one. There was a big one, about 3-4 weeks ago? And I know it went clear down to Louisiana. I know people had seen color change in their skies that night in Florida, in the northern panhandle of the Florida area. So, yeah, just keep your eyes peeled. Pay attention to the sky, especially the northern sky. That was a big one not too long ago, too. So, and I haven't checked it today, so. Oh, really? Wow. Sure it wasn't pixies or fairies? 4 orbs, 4 little pixies, 4 little fairies. That's cool. I'm starting to see more videos of fairies, too. Freaky weird, yeah. Yeah, I think now that it's getting cool outside, I'm going to see how my internet. I've never used the internet on my phone. I didn't really want to, live stream from my phone, but I may one night. I was thinking about doing the campfire thing because I got the fire ready to go. I was kind of hoping for like a cool fall night, and then one night wander around the cemetery with you guys. So we'll see. I talked about doing it last year, never got to do it, but I plan on doing it this year. So I'm going to see how the internet does on my phone because I don't know how far my internet will reach in the cemetery. It might make it. I don't know. I mean, I've sat down there on my phone at the entrance and got on my internet, so we'll see. I don't know how deep I can go because all the old stuff is way in the back by the forest. But in the day, back in the day, I stopped doing it for a number of reasons. I was always afraid of bringing stuff home with me because there were guys taking stuff home with them. Not a good thing. I've always been lucky. But then again, I've always been smart enough to protect myself, especially when I got wise to do it. But yeah, that was in the day, many, many moons ago, back in the about 77, 78. Just as I did it from 77, 78, 79. I did last time I went was in 80. Then I went a couple times in 81 with some friends just for fun. But it's been that long. Your sister came home with you? Oh, that's nice. Oh, you're a ghosty sister. You lost me there. But yeah, that was many moons ago. Now, those have always been weird because we did the whole works houses. We went with abandoned houses and everything. In fact, a couple of those stories will come on later. We used to use an old television and a VCR. And what we would do is we'd run a generator outside, plug in the TV with no antenna, just turn it on a station, and just let it static, hook up the VCR, and just let it run. You would be shocked. Just like in white noise, you would be shocked on what you would see. And the guy kept all that stuff belonged to this guy. I don't know what ever happened to the dude, but we probably had a good 25 solid tapes of some weird stuff. He also liked to do the radio thing, where the radio would just scan and you pick up stuff. I was never big on that one. Those voice boxes. Well, hello, Mr. Ron Forrest. How are you doing, sir? Yeah, I was never big on those. I had a couple people that used them in the day. And now I do like taking old, not just recording devices. Is take the old cassette players with the cassette and a mic and just set it down and let it go. And you'd have that tape. Now I know you can keep it digitally. What happens if you lose everything? But it always sounds to me. I've heard good stuff on that digital stuff, on the digital recorders. But on the tapes, I've heard some really, really clear stuff. And it's like, yeah, that definitely said something. We had one tell us that we should leave. The thing here is not nice. I remember that. That was clear as bell. That was in an old rickety house up in Delaware, out in the country, off of old State 3, I think it was. No, 605, I'm sorry. That was pretty freaky. That house was weird. When we went in that house was super weird. That was in 78. It was around Halloween. We was at the haunted house that was probably a half a mile down the road. QFM had a haunted house. And we would go to their haunted house. And then I got to working for the haunted house. But anyways, about a year or two later, anyways, while we were there, when we left, we were just going to go. We like to cruise the country roads, and we drove by the place, and we were like, we can go back and check that out. So we went back the next night. We walked in that place. Actually, the inside was a lot better than I thought it'd be. There was still a lot of stuff in there. We couldn't find any information on who owned the home or anything. It was wild. We go in. The walls were peeling. I mean, it looked like it'd been sitting there for a long time, but there was still a lot of stuff in there. Nothing been touched. But you had this vibe as soon as you entered the door that somebody was watching you immediately as soon as you came through that threshold. So we were all kind of skittish at first, and he set up his TV and stuff. And we usually wander around a little bit while the TV plays and talks, check out the house. take pictures. One of the guys had a VHS, and he'd wander around, just kind of look at things. He'd try to go real slow so you don't get that jerky camera crap. And we'd step out, hang outside for a while the TV played by itself. Always came back. That was the night on that TV. All you caught was every so often the static would break and you just see an outline of a figure. You couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. It was just a stark figure, and it would be like, look at just that. And then the static would pick up. And it'd do that like 5 or 6 times while we were reviewing it. We review it there. And when we got done, he goes, let's run the tape recorder. So we ran the tape recorder. And wow. He said something. I don't know exactly what he said about, you think we should stay the night? Well, when we played that back, that's when we heard, don't stay here. It's not a nice thing, what I said earlier. And it was hilarious because we kind of just all looked at each other and go, I guess that's pretty much a no. So we hung out for a little bit longer. It always felt like you were being watched. The one guy we were with, Jerry, he's kind of antsy like me, so he doesn't like to stay in one place for too long either. So he kept saying, let's go. It's done. So we leave. I guess when they went back and played more of the other tape, because we did 2 tapes, 2 VHS tapes. And we only reviewed the one where we saw the face. And he wanted to review the other one when we could sit down and relax. Well, he went ahead and reviewed it. He freaked out. He said there was voices saying you better leave. There was one voice that says, we've been watching you since you walked in the door. He said that one moment you see a flash. It looks like a couple people standing. He said it was just like watching white noise. And that was even before that movie came out. So, yeah, it was pretty creepy, he said. Now, see, like I said, I don't know if we've known what happened to Tom. That not Tom is my preacher friend, but another Tom. We lost contact back in 90. I'd hear from him every so often. I haven't heard from him since. So yeah, I just the ghost boxes. When we went out, the second time I went, I think it was the last time somebody had a ghost box and made a ghost box, because they've been around for a while. I just didn't like it. It was just too random. And they were just jumping at everything. And I'm just like, you can't be just jumping at everything. So that was pretty my last time. I think that's when it was just, I'm done. You know, I was afraid. I get to the point where some places in the day, there were some places I think we were just asking. So yeah, that's pretty much why I stopped. Now, not to say I wouldn't do it again, but I'd be a lot more cautious, especially now with what I see that follows people. It makes it harder now because it was bad then. As I've gotten older, it's gotten worse. And lately, with the way in the state this world is in, I don't wish what I see on anybody. And I know that I now have met other people that see the things that I've seen. So, see the things that follow people. So I know I'm not alone. It's not good. And then, what do you do? But yeah, what do we have? We got 9 watching. So, roll call. Enjoying the clear night. Yeah, it's very nice here too. That moon sets low here. It's kind of nice. I hope you're well, Ron. Thank you for coming in. But yeah, first one I want to start with was about 14. Actually, it was 14 turning 15 because it was right before my birthday. Well, sometimes I would be off and nobody else would be off. So I'm kind of stuck hanging out by myself at home. So I figured one night Godzilla versus the Smog Monster was playing at Grace, which is probably about a half-hour walk. Not even that. It's just pretty much, I'm not that far from High Street. You just walk right down High Street to Graceland back in the day when they had a theater. And, I figured, I'll go watch the 7:30 show. So I left the house about 7 o'clock, told mom and dad, hey, I'm just going to walk down to the movie theater and catch Godzilla. So, okay, bye. So I went down, just walking down. Well, when you get almost to Graceland, Graceland's like a, one of those big square plazas. In the day, it had the Bonanza I used to work at, Farrell's Ice Cream, a little strip mall. Actually, it was an Atlas bodybuilding place. Then a little strip mall. Then you had Graceland Theater, which was the 2 theaters on one each side. It's not a very big place. Then you had Roco. And in between Roco and the theater was the bowling alley was before. Sorry. The bowling alley was before. You had the bowling alley, then the theater. So we had Graceland Bowling Alley, and then the theater, double theater, then Roco's right there. So I'm walking through, or right before you get to Graceland, there's a big, huge assisted living nursing home. River, I think it's River Glen or something like that. Anyways, I can't even remember the name. It's Glen something. And there's a creek with a nice little forest that runs down alongside of it that kind of divides it and Graceland. We'd cut down and go through and go up the hill to come up over past behind Bonanza. So I'm going down there by myself. I'll cut through. So I cut through. I get down the creek. I figured I got a couple minutes to spare. So I sit down. I smoke a cigarette. Yeah, I was smoking at the age of 14. So I'm smoking a cigarette. All of a sudden I hear this, hey. I'm like, what? So I figured there's people that go down there and party and stuff. So I figured, oh, somebody's down here partying. I turn around. No, there's nobody there. So I get up and I go down. Now I'm getting uneasy because somebody's hiding in the shadows. So I start to cross the creek. I hear, hey, dude. I said, yeah, what? And where are you? And this thing's, I want to say thing because I couldn't see nothing but black shadow, which was really creepy because I couldn't see nothing but an outline. Looked like a dude in a baseball hat. His head was down. He goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm just cutting through. I'm going to the movie. Okay. So I cross the creek, and I'm watching him as I go up the hill. I come up behind the back door of the Bonanza, and I had just started working there because I got an early, work, when you had to get the work permit. And I just started there like the week before. So I was feeling really uneasy. This guy's down there. I can hear him down there walking. So I get up there, I knock on the back kitchen door, and the dish guy opens it up. I go, first of all, you shouldn't open the door. That could have been a robber. And he goes, oh, well. And he goes, what's going on? I go, you don't work tonight? And I said, no, but this guy down there, and he's freaking me out. I'm trying to go to the movie. He goes, well, I'll tell you what, head to the movie, and I'll stand here and watch for a while and see if he comes up after you. So I go, okay, thanks. And he goes, no problem. So I leave, and I don't know if he ever stayed and watched to see if he come up the hill or not. Yeah, because we had no way to talk to each other. So I'm heading to the movies, and I'm getting parking lot's not very full. It's like a Thursday night, and I'm going down the parking lot, and I hear this, hey, dude, and it's the same voice, but this time I don't see anybody. I mean, but he could be hiding behind a car. So I move out to where like the parking lot where it's no cars, and I'm just getting past there was like a Hobby Lobby and a Radio Shack right there. And I'm like, oh, crap. They're all closed, so I can't go in there. And this guy's freaking me out. So my goal was just to get to the theater. So I get all the way over to the bowling. I finally get to the bowling alley. I can hear somebody calling me, but it was like at a distance. It was like, hey, dude. And I couldn't tell if they were whispering or if they were far away because I didn't want to look back. I got tired of looking back. I just wanted to get there. So I get up to the movie theater, and I'm standing there waiting to get my ticket. There's only like a couple people in front of me. I'm not, thinking anything of it. So I get my ticket. I go in, grab me a little munchies when popcorn and stuff was still somewhat reasonable back then. Went and sat down, got me a seat. Wasn't very busy. I mean, it's Godzilla. So I'm sitting there. There's probably about, hey, Edna, how you doing, sweetie? I didn't say your name 3 times. That'd been the 3rd time. Anyways, I sit down in the theater. I'm watching a movie. There's probably 10, 15 people. A couple kids with their mom and dad. Just a good mix. Godzilla fans. What was not much back then. So I'm sitting watching this. And all of a sudden, I hear the voice real quietly whisper in my ear, "Hey, dude." I turn around, there's nobody there. And I'm like, okay, this is creeping me out. So I just kind of leaned back and looked around. There was like nobody behind me. There was the family and the two kids, two boys. There was a couple, probably looked like mom and dad dropped them off. I would say 12, 13. There was a boy and a girl. And some old guy in the back with his wife laughing and giggling at the movie. So I'm just going, okay. So I'm watching the movie, and the movie's about halfway there. They're not very long. And I hear it again. This time it's on the other side of my head, and it's, "Hey, dude, what are you doing?" And I'm looking around. So instead, I just kind of scooted down a couple seats to see what would happen, because I wanted to watch the rest of the movie, but it was creeping me out. So I'm sitting, I'm watching the movie, nothing the rest of the movie. I get up, kind of look around, watch everybody leave. I stood there purposely to watch everybody leave. And then I left. And nobody got up, so I kind of hung around the movie to see if this guy would come out. I never got to look at him. I just knew it was a guy in a baseball hat. Nobody ever comes up. Nobody, says anything to me or anything. So I just start walking home. I'm walking home. I get to the cut through, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going to cut through now. So I go around Bonanza, no closed. So I didn't stop in. And I go around the front and start working down the sidewalk home. When you get to the sidewalk, the creek runs under this big, huge pipe that goes through underneath High Street. It's huge. You can walk through it. And all of a sudden, so there's a forest down on the edge of where the creek's at. And I get right to the middle of that, and I hear, "Hey, dude, what are you doing?" And I finally just turned around and leaned on the railing and looked down over the creek bed. And that shadow is standing right in the middle of this creek. Okay. And that water, where it comes out of the pipe, it's probably a good knee, maybe 2 or 3 feet deep. So he's just standing there, and all I see is the shadow, and he's wearing a baseball hat. I go, "I'm doing nothing. I'm going home. Leave me alone." And it says, "F you. Go ahead. Go about your business, asshole." And I start walking away, and I hear a gunshot. And I know that's what I heard, a gunshot. And I go back, but there's nothing. Nothing. I was like, I stood there for probably a half hour trying to figure out what was going on. And that gunshot came from right there. I know it did. But it was a gunshot. I never figured out what happened. I couldn't find out if anybody had done themselves in there. Nothing. But it freaked me out for days. I'd go, when I go to Graceland, I'd either make somebody take me, or when I got to Bonanza, I would go down one side of the street and not cross over until I got right in front of the Bonanza, and I'd jaywalk over for about a week because I'd walk to work. It was funny, but it did trip me out. I never figured out what it was, who it was, if it was somebody after me. I don't know. But it was creepy because I never seen any features. He would turn his head, and that's how I knew he was wearing a baseball hat, because you could see the hat. But I could never see any feature. It was just a dark, dark figure. And it never happened again after that. I'd take trash out. It was funny because when I was looking at that, I'd go up the back to take the trash out. And I'd literally crack the door open and look my head out, go and look around. It was creepy. And I never found anything out. What was weird, though, was exactly a year later, we got robbed. And I was working dish that night. And the guy came up from that creek bed and snuck up on us and knocked on the side door. And the guy that opened the door for me opened the door without thinking. And there it was. I remember because all of a sudden I turned around and all of a sudden there's a gun pointing at my face. And he tells the other guy to open the door. Oh, man, that was fun. You attract them, Ghost? I don't know, but it was weird. because I never did. I've lived here all my life. I don't ever remember a story of somebody doing themselves in down there or anything. Why me? Am I the only one that saw this? It was kind of weird. It was off the wall. Totally, totally off the wall. I hope you're well, Edna. I did get your email. I do have some opinions, but I have questions. You just want me to give you the questions and you can email me the answers later? I don't know, but it's possible because we did get warned. Then I even went to court. That guy got away with it. I almost got his mask off him because I went at him. I thought I was going to get shot. That's a whole different story for a whole different day from what happened that night. I don't play. Even then, I wouldn't have no gun shoved in my face. And you could tell he was definitely on something. Because he was shaky and nervous. Even a punk like me knew that. Yeah, I didn't take a chance. I almost got my head, but he still got away with it. I didn't want to put anybody at risk. So, but yeah, he didn't get much done. I mean, we were busy. I think that happened on a Friday night, so we were busy. So he got a little bit of a chunk of money. We were a steakhouse, all you can eat salad bar, so we did really good. Hey, Dirt Roadie, how you doing, sir? Just stopping in to say hello, leave a like. Past my bedtime. Yeah, it is, isn't it? I'll see you Friday, right? For your pendulum while we do oracles. And you thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. You have a good night, sir. Okey-dokey. We got a whole fan club here. Just kidding. But yeah, that was pretty wild. See what else. I'm trying to give you good ones now. I'm trying to up the ante a little bit, knock it up a notch. Some more creepier ones. That one was pretty off the wall. I still, to this day, don't understand why that happened. And like I said, I did look. I tried to find out anything. And it had to have been recent because he was wearing a baseball hat. I mean, anywhere in at least the 70s. So if it was a ghost, if I reminded him of somebody, maybe it was a warning about the robbery. I don't know. But he never fired the gun during the robbery. So I don't know. But it was a gunshot. He was yelling at me. I left, and all of a sudden, bang. I mean, it was loud. One shot. Then silence. I mean, silence for a good couple minutes. There was no sound anywhere. Even the cars didn't make sound passing me because I'm literally right on High Street. And it was dead quiet for a good couple minutes because I stood there and was like, what just happened? But then again, I was kind of in a different mindset when it went down. So I don't know. Then tell you one thing that happened. Here's one that's a lot more recent. When we were living at the hotel during the fire, I didn't say nothing then. He doesn't like talking about it. When we first got to the hotel after the fire, we were in this one room, and it was just a one bedroom bathroom. I had to go through his room to go to the bathroom, and I was sleeping on the couch. I think you guys, those who remember No Streams, that's where we were at the first time. That room was creepy. I mean, sounds to me like he was trying to warn you and see, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I didn't stick around to find out. I just wanted to get home. I was young and I still had a curfew. Even though I was working, like I said, I just started Bonanza like a week before. Maybe that's possible, Edna, and that was the way he was trying to catch my attention. But when I went back, there was nothing there. So I don't know. But it was weird, and it doesn't harm me. Just kind of, that's that question mark. Was there something I should have done? Should I have greeted him? What was I greeting? See, my question was, what happens if I would have stood there and talked to this thing? Would have been an actual human. My instincts was to say, keep moving. And that's what I did. My instinct was telling me, don't stop, don't talk to this person, move. And that's what I did. And I usually go with my gut anyways. I don't even have chat on any other one. Here we go. But anyways, I forgot what I was talking about. Somebody remind me. No, let me thank you because I literally forgot what I was talking. Okay, we were at the hotel, and there was a couple nights in that room. Okay, the night that I couldn't finish the stream, and I tried to let everybody know that I was leaving, and I left out Gemma. That night, he crashed hard. He was in a bad way, and he crashed hard. And I was upset because I had to leave the stream. I was not happy, but I just couldn't do it. And I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm trying to keep myself still and calm down. And I swear, from that little kitchenette in my front of me, there was like this little kitchen, and had the stove and everything, and the refrigerator. I hear this voice say, "It'll be all right. You'll be fine." And at first I thought it was Dad, but it wasn't coming from Dad's room. It was coming from the kitchen. So I stood up, and it's like I could see the whole kitchen. So I still stood up and kind of looked around because I know what I heard. And I sat back down. And then I hear this other voice go, "No, it won't. You're fucked." And that, pardon my mouth, YouTube, but that's what it said. I just kind of cuddled up, curled up on the couch, and rocked myself to sleep until I went to finally sit. That was a weird night. Where the following night, he goes to the bathroom. No, it was in the morning. He goes into the bathroom. And the lights kept turning off on him from the bathroom where everything, the light, there's like, when you open the bathroom door, there's 3 switches. One's for the bathroom, one's for like the bathroom fan. And then the other one lights up a light that's right outside his room. So what would happen is, he said, as soon as he sat down, the lights went out. And underneath the door, he could see the light come on in his bedroom. And I'm like, I was at the store. I had gone and got us some food to put in the kitchen. And I come back, and he's all freaked out. He goes, "This happened like 3 times. Because, Steven, I was afraid to get off the toilet because I was afraid the light would go out and I'd hurt myself." And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "The light kept going out. The light kept going out." I said, "It'll be okay. Maybe it's just a problem." So I went and checked all the light bulbs, and I just reassured him because he doesn't believe in this stuff. Now, he'll tell you UFOs exist, but he won't tell you about things that go bump in the night. Things calmed down, and then these odd things were happening. Like he would act different. He would talk to me like in this different voice, like a slang. And a couple times I couldn't understand what he was saying. And then that happened for like 2 days. And I was like, something got to my dad. And I was kind of freaking out, trying to deal with everything. I didn't say anything to anybody because he freaks out. Well, one day he slept all day. I mean, he literally did not get out of bed. I kind of stuck around because I didn't want to leave him like that. He gets up about 4 o'clock. I go, "You hungry? Are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm fine. I don't feel a little rough, but I'm okay." And I go, "Well, let me fix a good dinner." So I made a good dinner for us on that little tiny kitchen. And we sat down and ate. Giles showed up. He seemed fine. The rest of the night, never had an issue after that. They got real quiet in the room a couple nights where it was this weird feeling, but nothing strange happened. But I finally went and said something to the desk. I mean, we need a bigger room. I mean, I can't sleep on the couch. We need 2 rooms. And the insurance company says, "Yeah, you can have 2 rooms. I don't know why you can't have a 2-bedroom." So the insurance calls them and says, "You give them a 2-bedroom." So they move us up to this. No, they moved us down to they moved us up to the 3rd floor because Giles was still on the 2nd floor. And the room was nice. So we get comfortable in our room. First night we were in that room, the door knocked. I go, "Who is it?" And the person is, oh, wrong room. So I look out and I don't see nobody. So I open the door and look out. There's nobody in the hallway. No problem. Nothing happens after that. The following day, the fire alarm goes off in our old room. We were on the second floor. That's right, on our first part of the stay. The alarm starts going off in our bedroom while they're cleaning it, and they can't get it to shut off. Every time they shut it off, it kicks right back on again. I go up there, and so I go down to the second floor, and I'm going, what's going on? The alarm keeps going off. I'm laughing. I'm laughing. I go, dude, this place is haunted. I think this room is haunted. And this little Mexican guy goes, room haunted? I said, yeah, all kind of freaky stuff was happening in this room. He leaves and comes back with this woman. And she starts asking me all kinds of questions about what happened, what was going on. I tell her. She goes, me got it in the room. I got it. I don't know what happened, but I went down, got in the car, and the alarm went off. And the little Mexican guy comes down, stands there, and I sat there and watched him because I was sitting there smoking a cigarette too before I left. He must have huffed that cigarette down so fast. I mean, he was shaking. I don't know what happened, but never happened again. It was wild. But Dad didn't like talking about it. I don't know what happened that day. I don't know what happened while I was gone that day, but something came out big time. I would make a joke. We'd drive by the hotel. You want to go back to the hotel? No. Over in X, people are calling each other idiots. Let's just not go there. Sounds like to me he was trying to catch up. That was someone calls your name, you didn't hear it. Yeah, but that's the thing. You didn't call my name. You just said, hey, you. Hey, dude. He never said my name. That was the thing. Never once did he say my name. And it was weird because when he stepped out behind the tree, and all I saw was black, and then he tilted his head, and that's how I knew he had a baseball hat on. And I still couldn't see no features. I mean, I was training just to see how tall, how big, how wide. It was a pretty average guy from what it looked like. But it was weird. He said, hey, dude. And I'm like crossing the creek. He's still talking to me. He's not saying anything. He's just saying, hey, dude. So I got to go. I got to catch a move. And I watched him all the way up the hill. He kind of came out a little bit. One point, he even stepped into the creek, then stepped back out of the creek and watched me go up the hill. That's when I knocked on the door. Because, I mean, literally, once you get up the hill, there's like about maybe 2 feet, and then a sidewalk, and then the back door to Bonanza. And then the hotel room. So I told the desk, whatever you do, don't put them in room 212. That was the room number, 212. Don't ever. And I said, don't put any old people in that 212. That's what I told him. It didn't bother. I mean, it freaked me out a couple times. There was weird stuff going on. I would see stuff in that hallway, but the only time I saw stuff in the hallways was on the first floor. On the first floor, if you go down, you get off the elevator, you go straight, it like takes you to the back of the hotel. And I used to take out Puff that way, take him out for walks, and then I just started going to the main door that's right there. I didn't go out the main door because it was always somebody smoking there. And, you know, he doesn't bar strangers, and he's not very sociable. So I would always take him down to the other end. I stopped doing that because every time I opened the door, I heard a voice. I always had to keep checking underneath the stairway because they say the homeless guys would sneak in and sleep underneath the stairways, and they were trying to stop it. So, but I hear a voice, hey, dude. So I heard it at the hotel, too. And then that can be explained to a number of reasons because of overdoses. And those, excuse me, folks, those rows of hotels there are known for their overdoses. Any kind of communication, you just don't answer. Maybe we should. Sometimes I think we need to answer. just go with that gut feeling. Your how should I say, your spirit, your gut. You can't always go with your heart, and sometimes you tend to overthink things. If your gut tells you to keep moving, your best bet is to keep moving. And that's what my gut was telling me that day. Don't stop. Just keep moving. You stayed long enough. Go. That's what my gut kept telling me. So that's what I did. And I'm glad I don't know if he stood there and watched till I disappeared around the strip mall. Well, there was a mantis behind it, Farrell's and around. So he had to watch me. He would have lost sight of me as I went around the front of Farrell's ice cream. We watched a meteor shower 2 nights in a row. It was, oh, yeah, there was some good ones I heard. I didn't get out. I want to go out tonight because there's been a lot of solar activity, so I'm kind of hoping I can see a little bit of aurora. Last time at the big one, I got to see some of that. It wouldn't show up on my camera. I was trying to do everything. I guess I'd done a little bit more of a time lapse, slower shutter speed or something. But it is still kind of bright where I'm at. I mean, it's not like real bright. If you look south, it's bright because you're looking toward Columbus. But when you head north, it's not that. But it's bright enough to kind of dull stuff out. Oh, I agree too, Edna. Yeah, I think sometimes you just listen to that gut. When it comes to things like that, I think with the paranormal, the best bet is to listen to your gut, your first instinct. If it says do not, don't. NASA, yeah, I know NASA's down there. A lot of nighttime activity in the sky down here. Yes. You know, they got 2 astronauts stuck in space, floating around there. They just want to come home, and they're still up there waiting. And something keeps happening. But they need to get them home. You know, and they're barely talking about it. They're barely talking about it. Daytime, too. Saw something that I think was a spy kind of plane. It's possible. It's possible. You might have seen a drone. There's some pretty cool drones that they use that they're constantly running around. Oh my God, they can't get them home. Yeah, they can't get them home. They've tried everything. They're begging. I think Elon Musk is going to go and try to get them. From what I'm understanding now, Elon Musk has got involved because this is NASA. And Elon's independent, even though they're working together, really. But they're stuck there until next year. Is that what it is? Until next year? I knew they were stuck there. They have to wait for it with the rotation, and you know everything has to be done just at the right time. It was huge and weird looking, really. You're gonna see out of the ocean right now. People are spotting all kinds of weird stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if you did see stuff down there, Edna. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. Now, Edna, seriously, on your email, I got some questions, so I'm going to email those to you, and then you can let me know what you think. And you can answer my questions because I have questions. Details is more or less. So I'll tell you what. Give me specific details. You gave me a lot of details in that short little email, but really, oh, I'm sure. But yeah, I'll get back with you. I'll just let you know. I'll get back with you with the questions and maybe some answers. But I will say this. I don't think it's there for any of you. It reminded me of the thing on the bridge, Ghost. Yeah, but it doesn't mean you may have dealt with it. Maybe somebody else is dealing with it too. Think about that. If it was on another person's porch, okay, and you saw, and it saw you, maybe it looked at you because it couldn't believe you were seeing it. Have you thought about that? You know, sometimes we see things that, you know, we're not supposed to see. Maybe he looked at you because he was like, hey, or he may have said, I know you, but right now I'm dealing with something else. But I don't think he was there for any of you. I think he was there for where it was in next door. Gray hooded, but the cloth draped through it. Yeah, I'm thinking it was not for you, but it was probably shocked that you saw it, and that's why it looked at you. Would be my guess. It may not have been this. It may look like the same thing you fought on the bridge, but it may not have been. Yeah. I've seen figures too like that, and then have friends tell me they've seen them, and be like a whole totally different experience. So, but my guess when I read your email, when you said it was on the neighbor's porch, right? Was it looking at the house or was it looking outward? Can you tell? People think it is 100% independent, but that's not the case. He works with. Oh yeah, Ron, for sure. Oh yeah, yes, okay. Yes, I did think of that. It seemed shocked. It tilted its head to the left. Yeah, see, that's my guess. And it was looking outward toward the. No, it seemed to be looking at their house or your house. Before it looked at you, was it looking at their house or your house? Or your place where you were staying? That's what I'm trying to figure out. When it saw you, did it turn its head to look at you? Their house. Yeah, my guess is it was there for somebody in that house. It's watching somebody over the house. Now, so I wasn't there to tell you. You said you couldn't get a vibe off of it, which means it could be anything. It could be something bad. It could actually be something good. You know, not everything good looks pretty. And so it looked up, goes. Oh, it looked up at you, or was it looking up at the sky? I couldn't get a vibe. So when it looked at you, it had to look up at you or look up at the house. It was looking up. Okay. That's what I need to know. So were you higher than he was? Or did he look up at you? It looked up when I saw it. Oh, like it was like avoiding your glance. So it knew. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I was higher. Okay. That tells me right there that it was not. You saw something. You saw something for somebody else that you probably weren't meant to see. It's notice that you could see it. So it could have been there for that person. For what reason? You have to get to know that person and find out what's going on in their lives. But yeah, it probably did sense you. And what'd you say, Ron? Are ghosts and spirits the same thing? Yes. That's what I think. Ghosts and spirits is just the same thing, two different words. That's my personal opinion. Now you might have somebody might say differently. Now, when you're talking, now there's entities. I don't like calling them spirits because we can be spirits. We can be ghosts. But there are entities out there that can come off as a spirit. They can come off as a ghost, which is the same thing. They could be good. They could be bad. So yeah, spirit and ghost are pretty much the same thing in my book. This seemed to sense you as an interesting thing because it knew that it was being watched. Just like that one time there was a couple times when I saw something that was following somebody. Those things knew I was watching it before they looked at me. I could feel it. It was creepy because the one left the bruises on my arm. And I didn't like that. Now, it's only happened one time other than that. And that was in the grocery store when I saw the Hat Man again. And I haven't seen him since. But it was creepy. It was like he was just letting me know he was around. It was just not right. I saw it before it saw me. Yeah, you may saw it, but it may have once you stepped outside, it may have felt presence because they do. Some of them can do that. They can feel a presence of another. And then when you glanced at it and noticed it, that's probably when it was like, yep, she knows I'm here. Holy Ghosts and Holy Spirits. Hello, everybody. Hello, Cindy dear. How are you doing, Miss Cindy Lee? I hope you are well, my dear. I really do. I have a few in my thoughts. He had to be at least 12 feet tall. Yeah. It was an entity. He was probably there for somebody at that house. He might have been there for the whole family. Who knows? He could be good. If you couldn't get, see, this is the thing about the things I see. The third thing I see, and this is things that sometimes they have shape, sometimes they don't. But I cannot pick up a vibe off these things. Those are the ones that kind of make me nervous. Those are the ones I really watch out for because I can't pick up anything. And as for them seeing me, like I said, when they see me, it's rare. It is really rare. But with the black-eyed kid, I know he doesn't see me. There was a couple times I thought he did, but I know that kid does not see me. But yet, he seems to do a pretty darn job avoiding me because when I was at the hospital last time doing my test last Monday, if I didn't have to be somewhere at 2:00, I'd have followed him. But on the way out when I saw him, it was weird. I was right on my way. He was in the damn lobby again. Pardon my mouth. And I tried to get a picture, and he was gone. So, I don't know. I guess it depends on the entity. If they can sense you or not, I don't know. Okay, I got to catch up with that. It's interesting why some people have experience, why others do. Some people will, some people. Well, I think you'd be surprised, Ron, on how many people have experiences and don't even realize they had. To be quite honest, because it happens a lot more around you than you think. Yeah, more people seem to be having them now. Yeah, and more people seem to be coming out more, Edna, talking about, hey, this happened. The thing on the bridge, I couldn't get a real vibe either. See? So that's wild. Because those are the ones that they bother me only because you don't know. And when you don't know, it makes it kind of creepier. I'm back and feeling great. That's good, Edna. I'm still praying. That's good, though. I'm glad they changed things up for you. That's good. And Cindy, let's get you rocking too, sweetie. I haven't seen anything yet, though. I do spend a lot of time in the woods. So, you know, Ron, here's the thing. And this is what I always tell people. Even people who say, well, I go out, I'm out there all the time. You know, yeah, I'm keeping my eye out for something strange. If you just let it go, a lot of times it's when you least expect it is when something usually happens. I mean, it's, you know, there are very few moments of all my lifespan where I had gotten a warning or a trigger. Sometimes I do, but majority of the time it just happens. All of a sudden I'll look up and 1 minute I'll see that person and there's nothing behind them. And the next time I look at them, then I see it. So like the white. There's a small town we went through on Isaiah. We all mentioned it, and it felt the hair stood up on my arms. We went down into the 4 car. We went down in 4 cars, and we all felt. Oh yeah, there's places like that. Oh yeah, I can guarantee that. I've been to. There's an area. Well, my dad grew up in Chillicothe, and he had me driving around last time we went down. Not a while back. The last time we went down to help out, clean up. Anyways, we were driving through this one section of town. He didn't say anything, but as soon as I hit the section of town, my hair on my arm stood up. I could feel the hair on the back of my neck stand up. But I don't know, there's something was about that area because I felt it as soon as I hit that street, and it left as soon as I left that street, and it was just weird. you have to be open-minded, right? Yeah, well, it's not just being open-minded, because a lot of people that have experiences that haven't talked about it, that realize they had an experience but won't talk about it, it's not because they're open-minded. They just don't know how to be received. Eventually they do. Most people will eventually talk about it to somebody. But yeah, it does help being open-minded a little bit, which is being clear-minded. I'll get the name when we drive back. There you go. Yeah, it does. I've been to places like that. So I've been to places like that. It's just a weird vibe. It feels off. I do believe, though, there is a connection between UFO, paranormal, and Bigfoot. I don't believe Bigfoot is just a flesh and bone creature. There's a lot more going on. See, my opinions on all that are pretty much one and the same. Ron, I connect all that together because it's all connected. A lot of people tell you, no, it's not, but it is. It's all connected. We're all connected to everything. Everything means something. We're all connected. All of it's a part of us. All of it's here with us. So, what happens in the heavens happens on the earth. What happens on the earth happens in the sea and in the heavens. It's all connected. So, yes, I kind of have good belief, too, that all that is connected. I find more skeptics that have experiences and talking to me about, I've noticed over the last maybe 3 years, actually it picked up right after December 21st, 2022. I noticed that I had people who never believed in this stuff all of a sudden telling me stuff. This happened to me. What does that mean? This is happening to me. I keep having these same dreams. They're freaking me out. These kind of stories coming to me. I'm like, better get used to it. The veil is lifting. Yep, somebody did say Bigfoot. But yeah, you'll see a lot more. There will always be people who just won't allow themselves to believe in it. But unfortunately, science can't explain everything all the time. There are just some things we are not meant to understand yet. And when time comes, we'll be shown and meant to understand. That's what I feel. Everybody keeps looking for the government, like for the UFO, disclosure and all that stuff. They may try to pull a couple wools over your guys' eyes. I can guarantee that. But they're not going to be the ones to expose themselves. It's going to be themselves exposing themselves when they're ready. My motto is trust nothing, question everything, discern truth, intuit wisdom. There you go. I couldn't say it better myself. Littlefoot Smoochie. It is a good motto. Yeah, you can't question science nowadays, even though when we all know the science is wrong. Unfortunately, that's the kind of government environment, this whole world. It's not just here, it's everywhere. Our Lady Gemma has asked me not to go political, and I totally agree with her. But yeah, I believe everything's connected. My best UFO experience was actually right here in my front porch, only because it was with my dad, with Pops. I've seen UFOs before. I've even seen the triangles when we've been camping and stuff. No big story, pretty much the same as everybody else. We're camping. We see the lights in the sky. We watched it for a while. And this was before you had camera phones. Other than that, the majority of the things I saw after that, later on, with the Tic Tacs, and we see these white orbs all the time. The Tic Tacs are kind of cool because they're quick little motors. And me and Dad was sitting on the front porch. It was July 4th. And we're sitting there, we're just talking, drinking our coffee, watching people, some of the parties, some of the neighbors had parties going. We're just, laughing at, yucking it up. And Don Scott Airport is to the north of me. That's OSU's flying school and everything. So this little biplane's coming in, and all of a sudden Dad goes, "Look." And you can see it. You could tell with the Tic Tac. It was long. It was way up there, but it looked like it was descending. And at one point, it actually looked like it was coming right at the plane. And Dad's going, "Is that going to hit that plane? Are we going to watch something freaky happen?" This thing came right at the plane, and it seemed to slow down. And as the plane went by, it did a 90-degree angle and went the other way. Dad was like, "Holy." He stood there and he was like, "Now I've seen some weird stuff, and I know he's seen stuff over in Korea. I know he's seen some weird stuff." He said he saw a lot of weird stuff in Japan. He won't talk about anything else. Anyways, and I think it's all UFO. That's why he probably believes in UFOs like he does. But anyways, he sat there and he was in awe because you could tell it's like, you knew it was like that look. I've seen something like this before. But to sit here on a day out of nowhere and just see that happen right in front of us was just, he was just like, holy crap. But what made it so special was the next day we're standing in the driveway. We just got home. We're walking up to the garage door because we go in the side door. I look up and I'm just before I even said something, Dad goes, "Look." And this thing went coming up. You could see it just over the house. It was way up there. All of a sudden, it seemed to drop down and it flew right over our house. And it was like a white orb. I mean, you could see it was up there. It was up there. But I mean, you could see it was close enough that we could see it. It was just like this round white orb. And it was booking. He just kind of stood there and looked at me. He goes, "What the hell's going on, dude?" I go, "Scientists are consistently changing because of the consistently learning." That's true too. Regarding UFOs, I have to say, sessions an incredible way to determine what is the truth. I hadn't seen a meteor shower in years. It was thrilling. And I forgot my dang night vision camera. Oh, you did? Oh, that blows. You probably would have saw some freaky stuff out there. Oh, yeah, I bet you were. We have been deceived. It's the best place to see the northern lights here in Maine. Yeah, I probably wouldn't doubt that. Now, when we would go up to Cleveland, I think one time when me and the ex went up to go camping up at Marblehead, they had flares that night. The next night, they had flares that day, and that night we could see the aurora borealis. We both was like, she was taking pictures. None of them came out, but they were beautiful, and they were clear coming off that lake. You could almost see the reflection in the lake. It was kind of cool. But I think that's the best time that's the only time I've really seen them that good. Usually here, if they get down this far, it's just, you can see the sky changing colors. It's usually like a blue, red. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of a green, but it's very faint. No such thing as a meteor. Oh, okay. Somebody just up there running around with a sparkler. NASA owns a lot of land. Oh, I know they do. 43 million agricultural land is owned by a foreign country. Yep. We did it to ourselves. And China's quite a bit of those lands too. I have a question. I have captured a lot on videos hidden here near Pasquig Islands. I'm sure. Man, I'm telling you right now, things are hopping everywhere. I'm telling you, folks. I'm telling you. The veil is lifting. I had a lady at the store. See her. She works there. So I got to know her because she was a lady that my mom always went to her language. And we're talking about mom. And she was just there shopping. She stopped and asked how we were doing, how Pop was doing. I was talking to her. And she goes out of the blue. She goes, I was in here the other day. And I saw this old lady that used to work here. So I thought, I told myself, she looks horrible. And I go, "Aw, that's a sad thing to say." And she goes, "Then I watched her walk through the wall." And I went, "What?" And she goes, "I watched her walk through the wall." Through the wall? And she goes, "Yeah." And I never seen her since. Okay. So I don't know what to think. She goes, "I don't know what to think." I was shocked. I can see how many people wouldn't think we there are. You've seen UFOs with all the stuff there. Oh yeah, you got all kinds of drones flying down around down there. Oh honey, you think some of the crazy stuff go up by Virginia Beach, up by the naval base up there, go out to Arizona. Actually, there's a little more. There's a couple more other little sneaky airports they have that they test fly and run around things with. So yeah, you can go to White Pat. The veil is lifting. Yes, it is. It's thinning too. You know, I have a friend, Patricia. Yeah, I'm bummed. Oh, by the way, Tom, if you're watching, I miss you, bud. Thomas, I miss you. My future friend, he moved. He doesn't live here anymore. He moved last Saturday. Moved to Nebraska to open a new church. I kind of miss him already because it was nice to be able to. He was closer to me than Patricia was, as for getting to somebody if I need to talk. He was the closest because his church was just up around the corner. And I'm going to miss him. But if you're watching, I know he might be watching. Usually he texts me a message, say, "I'm watching." That's when you see me either touch my, when one of them texts me, if you see me touching my nose or pulling my ear, they're watching, they won't talk. I don't know why. I keep telling them, "Jump in chat." But yeah, he moved. But anyways, it's the way it is. And he said to me once, he goes, "You notice the veil seems to be thinning. So people are seeing." He says, when those people start interacting with these things, that's when it's lifting. That's when it's starting to slowly come out. He says, when that thing lifts, this world is in a world of hurt because it's going to come at us full force. Everybody's going to be shocked at what they see. So, but that was his own words, not mine, and his opinion. But when it takes this, but when it takes off at the speed of light, that's a UFO. Yeah, it's an unidentified flying object. Or what is it, arrow? An arrow phenomenon, whatever they call it now. I prefer UFO myself. UAP, whatever it is. Who said a fallen angel couldn't fly that fly at the speed of sound? Anyways, I used to sell high temp accelerants to all these facilities. Oh, really? Did you really? Accelerants? Did you really? I didn't know you did that. When you see the size of them up, it takes your breath away. Wow. What can we do, Ron Forrest? Accept it. That's right. That's all you can do. Skinwalker Ranch is a military experiment. A lot of money spent by the DOD on research there. Yes, a lot of money. Actually, Ron, I take it you get on the dark web or not? Because see, you can go to the dark web and see a lot of that stuff. Somebody has leaked so much stuff about Skinwalker Ranch. You just got to go look fast because it took me a couple times to find some stuff. On the deep web, you only get it may be up for like 2 days, 3 days if you're lucky before it disappears. But yeah, that's where I get all my information. I have a special laptop just for the good old deep, dark, scary web. It's really not that scary. UAP, yeah, I'd rather say UFO. I'm good with that. That's what I was raised with. How do you go on the dark web anyways? You got to get a tour driver. It's actually easy, but you probably should have a virtual machine, some good backup systems, really good security, good VPN. Like I said, you want to use a virtual machine. which is like running a fake computer on a computer. It keeps your files from getting destroyed and stuff, because even the best of sites on the dark web can have just some scary stuff in it. So you got to be careful. You can't download anything unless you've got all kinds of protection. I don't suggest downloading anything off the internet, off the deep web. I'm a boomer. It's you who voted me. Yeah, that's the way I see it too. But it's not hard. I mean, you can go to there's a guy named Mudahar, Some Ordinary Gamers. He's got all kinds. If you go back in his library, he'll even show you how to get on, how to be safe. Actually, he was one of the ones that actually helped me through his videos, even though I pretty much was already on by that time, but he helped me be a lot more safer watching his videos. I've read books of skinwalkers at the pinwalk. Yes, but see, the thing is, that means there's shaman, witch doctors, whatever. It's saucer for me. That's funny. My life has been scary enough. I think all of ours has in one way or another, to be honest. I think you feel so much better because I think you kind of accepted the things you see, haven't you? That makes life a little easier. That's why I kind of had to accept it, because I knew the more I fought it, the worse things got. So I just stopped fighting it. Sherman family. Yes. Sometimes I just have a hard time talking. What time is it? Oh, it's only 1:18. Jeez, it's too late. At least going to 2. I got to get up in the morning and get back to work. I've managed to get a lot done today. You guys want to hear another one? Edna, give me a topic and see if I have a story to go with it. All you guys helping me? Yes, I have. And thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Edna. You're more than welcome. I don't know what I did. Probably Gemma might have done more for you than me. I just tell you what I see. I just give opinions. That's all I can do. Tell you what I think. Something scary. Yeah, I was going to try to up it up a notch. Okay. When I was 17, we had all decided to go to, it was about 4 of us. And we were going to go check out the movie Altered States, then go to a spook house after that because it was during Halloween again. Cool, no problem. We go watch the movie. Of course, you're going to see a movie like that, you can guess what was going on. So we were all a little happy afterwards. And haunted house, we didn't have to drive anywhere. So when we left the movie theater, you walk down the street and there's this, I think it was either WNCI, it's one of the radio stations. QFM's always had theirs in Western. Anyways, I'm trying to read comments and talk at the same time. It's all of you. It's this tribe. Yes. Any weird ranch down where you live, Ghost? No, I live in Ohio. No weird ranches. A lot of farms that have weird stuff on it. You will find majority of the farms in this area, especially on ones on the outer rim of Ohio, will tell you stories, either Squatch stories, Grassman stories. That seems what they call them. Now, I've noticed more people in Ohio now calling them Squatch or Bigfoot, but most of the locals in Zanesville and in Athens and Logan and some of those folks down along the river will tell you the Grassman. You'll hear a lot of those stories, but as for like a ranch or anything, not that I know of. The weirdest place we have here, there's a couple, Ohio's weird anyways, but I would say if you want to talk about going into lore and some weird stuff that goes on, because right pat Air Base in Dayton, Not only did it house all the stuff from the Rockwell or whatever incident, but all that UFO stuff. But the place is haunted. That place is haunted as crap. I don't think people realize not only is there the big UFO conspiracy that goes on there, because a lot of people think they still have a lot of that stuff, that it really never went to Area 52, Area 51, or to Area 52. Yeah, right past Airface. I'm only about an hour away, hour and a half away from the place. We watch fighter jets and stuff go over, military, the whole works go over us back and forth all the time, because almost direct shot to DC. Anyways, that place is haunted. I mean, we went for an air show. It was Dad. No, it wasn't Dad. It was Tim, me, one of his friends. I think it was Bill Hoover. My little brother Kevin. And we went to Right Pat for the Air Base show. We watched the show and we're walking around. And I'm standing by a soda booth, just a concession stand. And this old man behind me is talking. And I'm listening in because he's telling some pretty interesting stories. And then all of a sudden he goes, yeah, the secretary up on the third floor is complaining that the phones keep ringing, but nobody's ever on the end of the phone. And it's driving her nuts. And the other guy goes, yeah, it does that over here in our offices too. They keep breaking coffee pots. And the other guy goes, oh, that's all what it does for you? So whatever it is breaking coffee pots. One guy said that everybody's key, when everybody got to work and got to work to do their jobs, at the end of the day, it was like nobody could find their keys. Like that whole office space could not find their keys. And they finally found them piled under a desk, and they were all blaming each other for messing with each other, but nobody owned up to it. And there's weird stuff like that goes on at the airbase. Then they really get a whole lot of talk. I've heard all kinds of creepy stories about that place. Hey, Bat Mom, what's up? I'm sure you've been lurking in the background. But yeah, now, see, I want to tell a good one. I don't want to tell that one. Let's see, I don't want to tell the Halloween one. I'll save that. Good, scary one. And I've had some weird stuff happen. Okay, when I was 21, I just, this was the summer after the big birthday and all that at school. And I was working a lot, working double shifts. Well, one night I got off and I couldn't get anybody to go out with me. I really wasn't ready to go home because I knew I'd just go home, back to the apartment and just rock and be unsettled because I was all hyped up. And my body just was giving me a hard time that night. So I figured, oh, screw it, I'll go sit at this bar. There's this. We lived on High Street, and we lived above a law office, and I lived with Mark Custis. Well, sometimes I wouldn't drive to work because Bonanza was just literally. I just walked down Broadway, and Bonanza sat next to the Riverside, and I was only maybe a good 20-minute, 30-minute walk. It'd be like walking from my house to Bonanza at Grace. So sometimes I'd just walk to work and save the gas. So I get up. I figured I'm going to pull a double shift because I know they're going to call me. Well, they ever called. They never called. So I'm like, cool, I get the afternoon off. I don't have to be at work until 5. So I'm screwing around. Mark leaves for work. And I go down and leave. And I figure, I'll just walk up and down the strip, High Street. Check out the stores. Now I can drive. I have a car. But I figured I'd just walk around and get some exercise. It was a nice day. And I'm walking down to one side, and I go, I'll go hit the carryout. There's a carryout down there. So I go hit the carryout. I'm coming out of the carryout. And this guy's standing there. And he looks at me. And he goes, did you see the blonde? And I go, a blonde? He goes, did you see the blonde go in there? And I go, no blonde went in there. He goes, okay. He kind of looked at me kind of funny and goes inside. So I start walking home. As I'm walking home, I hear this arguing going on. And I turn around, and there's this guy and this blonde standing there arguing with him as they're following me back. So I figured I'd just go back home. So I go up, and when you get to our apartment, you have to go up and around and go back, where he has steps because he kind of sits the law offices on a hill, and then the office, and then the apartment. And then he had another apartment, I think it was like attached to the side that some porno guy lived in, and we never saw him. Anyways, so I would sit on the steps and just watch it. I was just watching traffic, and here they come. They're still fighting. They look at me and both stop in the middle of fight and say hi and keep walking. And they start fighting again. They disappear, and I didn't think nothing of it. And later that night, I hear arguing in the alleyway because, like I said, you have to go up around, and there's an alleyway and parking. I hear a fighting going on in an alleyway. Well, I didn't see them which way they went once they passed this big office building that kind of sits right on the sidewalk. So once they passed, I could see where they went. Well, I'm sitting in our living room, and our kitchen window faces the alleyway, and it was open. And I'm sitting in the living room. Nobody's home. It's just me. And I'm getting ready to go to work. And I'm sitting there just kind of having a cigarette, put my shoes on, getting ready to leave. And I hear them fighting again. And I go, those two, what are they doing? So I go out, go look, and there's nobody there. But I can hear them fighting. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And it's really started to creep me out because I could still hear them arguing, but I couldn't see them. And it sounded like they were like right behind the place. I go, okay, well, whatever. So, because it echoes, I figured that's what I was hearing. Maybe it was an echo. So I get ready, go down, get in my car because I figure I'll just drive to work. I go to get in my car, and I hear the arguing again. Then I hear a scream. Then I hear this guy just cursing up a storm, and what sounds like thuds. I mean, it was clear as day. It sounded like thuds, and it didn't sound right, and it just went on and on and on. I'm standing there, and I'm going, I got to be ready for work. So I start calling the police, and I'm standing there going, come on. So I call work and say, I'm going to be late. There's something going on. I say, okay. Police showed up. I mean, it didn't take them long to get there. Cop shows up, and I'm going, listen. And you can still hear her screaming, and you can hear it. That's what it sounded like. If you can hear that, that's what it sounded like. So these two cops take off, and they're running around looking and looking and looking. Never found anything. They come back, and they're looking at me, and they're talking. They're like, where's it coming from? I don't know, dude. I don't know. I've been listening. I'm late for work. He goes, just go to work. We'll find out what's going on. I told them where I worked. I told them I worked at the Bonanza. Please come tell me what happened. Somebody let me know what's going on. This is freaking me out. This has gone on all day. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know. Let me finish the story, Edna. It gets really weird. So, no, I hear nothing. Nobody ever tells me what happens. I get home, and there's a note on my door written by one of the officers. It says, Mr. Davis. We never found anything, but the neighbor and the old man and the old lady that lives behind you said back in 1959, a Italian guy got in a fight with his blonde, how'd she put it, spunky wife, and they had been arguing all day, and he ended up stabbing her like 30 times in that alleyway. And I'm like, holy crap. And the cops, and then the cop, so the cop wrote underneath it, if you hear it again, don't call us. And that's all it said. I was like, hey, he wrote all that down. And I was like, and then at the end, if you hear it again, don't call us. Apparently, when I saw the old man, he said you could still hear it. He said it lasted for like 2 hours. And I never heard it after that. And he said it had probably been about that time frame when it happened, during that time of year. So he goes, they've heard it before, but they just kind of gotten to the point where they just ignore it now, that they've lived there that whole time. He said he raised his family in that house and everything. He was real. They were sweet people. But yeah, I mean, I wanted the cop went to see if there was records of it because I never looked to see if there was a record of the stabbing or anything. But yeah, but you could, oh, definitely left an imprint. Oh, definitely. Oh, you could hear her screaming. You could hear the thuds. I mean, it was loud. It's when the cops showed up, it was weird because when the cops, I go, shh, shh, now listen. And you'd hear her scream. And then she'd scream again. And then you'd hear him mumble something or yell something. And when they heard him start talking, it was like they split, but both their faces were like, what's going on? You know, they were freaking out. A blonde ghost for me. Yeah. Well, she was cute. And he looked kind of like an Italian. He was talking in an accent. But it was wild to watch him. I mean, so apparently from the time I saw him at the carryout, and then them following me, that nobody else was seeing him. Only I was seeing him. So I actually apparently watched from when the fight started to all the way back to apparently from the old man said they lived in 2 houses up the street and she was having an affair with the guy in the house right behind his, is what was going on, is what he said after I talked to him for a while. But yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, I would say as for a visual, a non-visual, well, for hearing something, that was probably the strangest because, I mean, you could hear, that was the weirdest thing is you could actually hear him killing her. I mean, doing her in. I'm trying to be careful. I saw them. Yes, I saw them. When I went down, I walked down to the carryout, and when I was going in, this little guy asked if I saw a blonde, and I said no. And no, I saw him as I was coming out, and I said no, and he went in the store, and I left. And next thing I know, they were behind me fighting as I was walking up the street because I sat on the sidewalk on the steps going up to my place as they passed by. And it was funny because they're arguing, and they both just stopped, looked at me, and said hello, like it was just a normal day. And as soon as they got away from me, they started fighting again. and the old man says, that's weird because that's where the fight started, was down the street. It wasn't a carryout then, it was a bar. Try America's Best Pizza, New Haven, C2. Oh, there you go. I saw them walk right past him, and they acknowledged him. Yeah, they acknowledged me, which was weird. But I mean, I didn't think nothing of it because they looked like real people. But the old man said, no, he died in prison. They didn't kill him or anything. I'm trying to be careful. He didn't die that day too. He just did her in. He passed in prison. An inmate killed him. Passed him on. Let's put it there. I'm trying to be careful what I say because I don't know what YouTube will say. But apparently an inmate got him. It's from what I've heard. And that was years ago. That was just before I met my ex. So that would have been 82, 80, yeah, right. Yeah, 83. That'd have been in 83. Yeah. Yeah. I just want to have a beautiful ghost experience. She was hot. Now I can see why there were guys probably why he was having a problem because I won't deny that that was probably the hardest ghost I've ever seen. It was weird because now that I think about it, the clothes they had on, he had like a printed shirt on with a tie. He was snazzy kind of looking, and slacks on, and real fancy shoes on. She was wearing a really nice dress, floral dress, low cut cleavage. It's like a dancing gown or something. But it's the carryout. When the guy told me the carryout used to be a bar, it made a lot of sense. How sad to go through an event so terrible for eternity. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, because I wonder if people still hear it about that time of year every day. If they still hear it there, or if it, sometimes that fades away. I don't think people realize sometimes that fades away. Sleep time. Have a good night, Ron. Thanks for stopping in. You have a wonderful day tomorrow, and hope we see you Friday for Gemma Oracles. She's been starting about 7:15, between 7 and 7:15. Hope to see you then. Take care of yourself, Ron. Have a good day tomorrow. If we don't see you then, have a good weekend. Have a blessed night. Yeah, what time is it? But yeah, that day, out of one of the more weirdest experiences, that was it. Only because of the fact that I could hear everything. We could hear everything. I mean, it was like it was happening. We couldn't see. It was weird because I saw them, and then everything that happened after that, I couldn't see them. We could just hear everything. And I mean, it was like you could hear everything. You could hear her screams. You could hear that thudding was the knife. You could hear him still shouting at her, but you couldn't understand. Now, maybe we couldn't understand because he was speaking Italian. But yeah, that was probably one of the more, I still have that one written down. That's why I remember it so well. Because I remember when I was sitting on the steps and they were coming up to me. It was funny because I had a bag of Doritos. I was holding a milkshake because they have milkshake, a dairy, like a little mom and pop dairy place next to the carryout. So I went in and got me a milkshake. Then I went to the carryout and got me some Doritos. I was sitting there eating Doritos, milkshake, and had a cigarette when they walked by. It was weird how they just both stopped arguing, looked at me and said hello. Have a good day. And then they started walking. As soon as they hit the front of that building, they started, and then I heard them arguing as they disappeared. It was kind of funny. But at the same time, it was kind of trippy to know now everything that happened. Ironclad validation, if you ask me. Yeah. We thought we lost. Now there he hides. He's listening and wandering around. There was, I had another experience like that. Me and the ex, there's a place that used to be here. It's gone now, and it bums me out. Called the Kahiki. It was like a tropical restaurant. It was all Asian foods, but you'd go in, and they had the tropical plants and that kind of tropical Polynesian vibe going. Fish ponds and all this stuff. We used to like to go there and eat. Well, the last time we went there and ate, we were sitting at the bar waiting to get a chair, get a table. And she goes, I'm going to go into the bathroom. Hopefully by the time we come back, we'll have a table. So she goes to the bathroom. I'm sitting at the bar. This lady comes up and sits right next to me, starts talking to me, just conversation, weather. They had that TV on, so we were talking about the weather because the weather was actually on. And Tina comes back. I turn to look at Tina, and Tina's looking at me. Go, who are you talking to? And I go, this lady right here. There's no lady there. She goes, how many drinks have you had? And I go, I haven't even had a drink yet. She goes, you better not. You're driving. And I'm going, okay. So we go sit down. I watch a guy. We're sitting and we're facing the bar. It's a nice place, good food. Their General Chow's chicken was enough to feed an army for what you got. And their side dishes were just amazing. Anyways, I'm sitting looking at my food and I'm eating and we're talking. I look up and this guy sits down right where I was sitting at the bar. And here comes that lady. Come up. I watch her sit down. I see them talking. I see them both get up and they both walk away. The next thing I know, the guy comes back and sits back down. This time when he sits down, he's facing the dining room. So if he would have looked at me, he would have been looking at me, looking at him. And he's standing, sitting there waiting, swiveling back and forth, like he's waiting for somebody. She never comes, and she never comes. So you're thinking she's waiting for her. They must have both went to the bathroom. So he gets up and he disappears. He comes back, sits back down, kind of throws his hands around, and goes back to his drink. She comes back, sits down again. He goes, "What are you watching?" He goes, "Don't you see that up there? See that guy?" And she goes, "Yeah, I see the guy. Who's he talking to?" And she goes, Who's he talking to? He's not talking to the bartender because the bartender's at the other end. So who's he talking to? He's talking to the lady that came up and started talking to me when you came up. She goes, "There's no lady there." And I go, "Exactly." And she kind of looks at me and goes, "Let it go." And that was, I let it go. She didn't see her, no. But that guy was having a conversation with her. When she came back the second time, they sat there and they talked for a while. I watched the whole thing, and she could not see her. She goes, "Steve, you've had too many drinks. You're seeing stuff." I go, "Look at him. He's talking to somebody. He's drunk, Steve." I go, "But I'm not drinking, Tina. I'm drinking coffee." She goes, "True. You didn't smoke anything before we left." I go, "No." But she couldn't see her. I don't know how many other people might have been able to see her sitting there, but they sat there and talked for like a half hour. He got up and left because every so often she was trying to play it off, but she would go, "What are they doing now?" We would eat and talk a little bit, and she'd go, "What are they doing now?" And I'd look up. They're still talking. We'd eat for a while and start talking about something different. She'd go, "What are they doing now?" I'd look up and I go, "He's leaving." "Is she still sitting there?" "Yeah, she's still sitting there." He left. Now she's getting up and leaving too. And she got up and left and followed him out. And the funny thing was, this is what freaked Tina out. He comes back about 5 minutes later, and he's standing around looking around. I think she was following him out, but when he got to the car, she wasn't there. Because when he came back, I mean, you should have seen him walking around that bar. He was stood. I think he stood by the bathroom for a little bit, and then he just left. Tina's go, "What's going on?" I go, "I think she just stiffed him. The ghost stiffed the guy." I go, "Yeah." She started laughing. He goes, "That." She goes, "You're drunk." And I go, "No." She never talks about it, but it was pretty funny that she never saw her. He was looking for her. Oh, no doubt. I'm thinking, it's like I told her. It's pretty sure. I don't know who. She must have been a barfly there at one time. I don't know. You know what a barfly is. Anyways, they fish for drinks and stuff. I think he invited her to leave, and when he left and got to the car and realized she wasn't behind him, he came back in to look for her. I don't think she was able to go to the doors. I think she's stuck there. Because I had a couple of people tell me similar stories about that place, about a young lady. She was a blonde, like not dirty blonde. She wasn't bad looking, cute looking older woman. But they also talked about one of the, I think it was the chefs that had passed in its day and kind of haunted the place. But when they tore the place down, after they had knocked it all to the ground and was cleaning it up, the construction guys said they could hear crying. So some people got attached to the place. It was a neat little place for, a Columbus little getaway. So I'm sure a lot of people had a lot of attachment there. It was like Ding Ho's. They used to be in a hotel. It's a little Chinese shop, and they moved it to a different restaurant. They actually bought a restaurant. It was like in the bottom of a hotel. Then it was like a motel on top of it and beside it. But it was a neat little good food restaurant where they decided they'd leave the hotel and get their own restaurant, get their own building. So they left. Well, people at the hotel says that it still smells and sounds like people were down there cooking. Even though the place and all the people are still alive and just moved down the road a little bit to their own building, people at the hotel who stay in the rooms above it, you could still hear people cooking and talking down there. They said freaky crap. What time we got, folks? 1:45, 15 more minutes. What else, folks? Talk to me. Am I losing viewers? That's all right. I don't care. But yeah, that was good. That place, I loved that place too. It was one of my favorite places. That's like there was a restaurant here called the Highlight, and they used to play that game where you wore the thing on your hands and you whip the ball around in the room. Went there once for dinner. That place gave me the creeps too. The Kiki never gave me the creeps. You always felt kind of a really cool, chilled the vibe there. But the Highlight, it was just kind of this really weird sport. And you'd go eat dinner and watch them play. Guys down there practice and play. And the only time we ate there, I felt uncomfortable the whole time I was there. It felt like I felt like I was being watched, but I was being watched to the point where the person was literally standing behind me, kind of feeling. And like the whole time we sat and ate, it was just not cool experience. It was like I finished my food and I said, "Are we ready to go now?" He was like, "What's the matter with you?" And I just don't like it here. Something's not right here. So we left. We ate and left. I've always seen normal looking people. That these hooded things are new to me. Yeah, and you might see different things said now that you kind of accepted things for what they are. You'll probably start seeing some things you've never seen before. And I don't think I like it. What are they? The hooded things, I don't know what they are. And sometimes I see them too. You don't get a vibe from. So it's hard to do, the hard to analyze it when um, you have to know the people. If you say you see this hooded figure, like when you did the just now, just a little bit ago, and they were on those people, you have to find out what's going on in those people's lives. Is he there to be a protector? Is he there as a guardian? Or is he there causing the problem? Is he there to feed off whatever's going on? You have to find out the situation of the person. You have to look at the situation that you're in, even if it's following you. You got to stop and think, okay, why did I draw this thing? Because that's what draws them. Either they're there to protect you, help you, guide you, or they're there to feed off it or make things worse. Real tall. Yeah, and I've seen them real small too. And I've seen hooded figures, maybe only like 2-3 feet tall. So yeah, I don't try to make a decision on them unless I know what's going on in that person's life, because that will pretty much tell you why it's there, if it's good or bad. Because after you find out what's going on in life, and then if you can get any more information, if it's been going on for a while, 2-1, it's something bad and it's causing a problem, it's feeding off. If it's like the problem's recent and they seem to still be in good spirits, 2-1, it's there to protect them. So it's hard to tell. It all depends on what's going on in the person's life. I really believe that. And I think that maybe the size, how big, how small it is, depends on why it's there. Maybe the smaller ones feed off more of the lower vibration, give you that creepy, nasty. I don't know. Those I don't have answers to. But all I know is I don't pick up a vibe off them. If I don't know the person, I just let it go as best I can. It's when you pick up a vibe is when you really need to worry. If it's depending on if it's bad. If it's bad and you're picking up a bad vibe, do you warn the person? Do you tell them, hey, look, this thing's outside your house? Or do you just let it be? I struggled with that ever since the first Hat Man experience. I wanted to tell that teacher this thing was following him. But, I'm young, I had issues. I still have issues. Would he believe me? Would have done any good? Would have put me in a funny farm? I don't know. But I wish I would have told him. Maybe he would have survived. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's what did him in. Sandy says that they are very strange and keep to themselves. They are new neighbors. Sandy's house felt normal to me. I spent the weekend and everything felt. That's good. That's good. If I'm gonna tell you right now, and if you ever go back, you'll know. Now you have something to base it on. So if you go back there, and something doesn't feel right to you, you know there might be something wrong. So that's good, but it's good to know it's clean. Yeah, I'm guessing it's the neighbor. And she says they haven't been there long. It's probably something they brought with them. So it may not be a good thing. I don't know. It has no vibe. It gets to me. Where see, that's like those things I see following people and I don't pick up vibe them. And sometimes in one incident, it was one of those things I couldn't pick up the vibe off of that I knew saw me. And it must not like the fact that it saw me, that I could see it, because it immediately disappeared. It was gone. It was like, I mean, I couldn't even pick it up off the guy. Sometimes I can pick it up before I see it. But there have been times I've seen people, like I said earlier, there's nothing following him. Then go around the corner and see him again, and there's something following him. It's like, what? And then the more I watch it, the more I realize it was kind of hiding itself. Or I just hadn't opened, I hadn't really looked at the person. I say it's usually the case is I really, see them, don't think anything of it. Then the next time I get a good look at them, then I see it. There's no vibe because you don't know what you're dealing with yet. And the baby has been sleeping in her own bed again. That's good. That's good. Do you get a vibe off that kind of you always see ghosts? Like I said, I see three things. I see human, and usually with the humans that I see that are like the shadows and stuff, I usually know they're human because you can usually feel anger or love. It's usually one of the two. Either they're really pissed off at this person and they just can't let go, or they really love this person. They want to make sure that they're going to be okay before either they move on or whatever. The second one is either angelic or demonic. Those I could tell right off rip. It's the same situation. You can feel with the demonic thing. I usually feel this cold chill when I look at it. Even the shape or the shadow is kind of distorted, and you get this real kind of, I don't want you to see me, I don't want you knowing I can see you kind of vibe. Those are the ones I know don't see me for sure. Other than the one, well, 2 times. There's the 3 times, the one I just told you. Then the 2 times, and the second time is when the one grabbed me and left the bruises on me in the carry-out. Those are the ones you don't want. Like I said, you don't want them seeing you back. You don't want them to know you're looking at them. The angelic seem to know that I look at them. I think they honestly do. Because I get a glow off of it. I get this really big warmth feeling. It's like the day it happened when my hair turned white. First it got cold, then it got real warm. And that's when the voice told me I had a different path for you. I got warm. I mean, it was like just really warm, rushing. That's how I get with the angelic stuff. I get this really warmth, loving. I feel like I'm being embraced when I see those things. Now, with the third things, these things I don't pick up on, those are the ones that kind of bother me because those are the ones I really worry about following me home, because I don't know what their intentions are. I don't know why they're there. Are they interdimensional beings? Am I seeing something? Why are they connected to this person? Are they there to oversee something? It's just weird because you don't pick up a vibe. So it's like you're running through your head. Why is it there? So no. Do you get a vibe off the kid you always see, guys? The black-eyed kid in the hospital? The vibe I get off of him is not really a vibe. It's more of a, because I do pick up on this thing, and I want to say thing because I don't allow myself to think it is a child, because this thing's, I mean, he's kind of creepy looking. I don't think it's bad. It's the feeling I get from it is it's not bad. It's not what I first thought it was, because I actually thought it was there to take bad people, because it came off as that thing. This kid, you got to remember, he's black haired, wearing a dentist menace bib overalls and a striped shirt. It's kind of creepy looking. And then him turn around and see that white face and I mean, it's not black purples. It's this whole area is black. And not nobody else see that. That's, yeah, it's kind of creepy, but I've gotten used to him over the years. So that I don't pick up like a bad vibe, but I pick up like he's not bad, but he's there for a reason. Now, what reason that is, I don't know. Why do I always see him? Now, the last 5 times I've been at the hospital and in the doctor's office, he's been there with somebody. Now, like I said, when I saw him in the doctor's office, he literally followed a lady into a room. You know how hard it is to sit there and not say anything? I didn't say anything. I'm in the doctor's office. My doctor already thinks I'm a and this is my family doctor. Always thinks I'm a little wacky anyways. And I don't tell him. Last time I told him I saw stuff, he was like, really? And I'm like, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. But I freaked him out a couple of times because I know he has a patient that haunts him in that office. Because I've seen the little old lady sitting at the desk. I don't know if she was an employee there and he was also taking care of her, but she loved him dearly. She thought the world of that man because he'll make comments like, if Betty was here, she'd take care of that. So, you know, and I say, well, I don't know how many times I wanted to say she is here. And that's one of the few times where I see things like that, like Gemma would see. Exactly, no vibe is disturbing to me. Exactly, and it is a little disturbing to me. But at least on the black-eyed kid I see in the hospital, it's comforted me a little bit now to know that he's there for a reason. Now, like I said, reason doesn't feel like a bad reason. It feels like a good reason. So I don't know if he's there for certain people because, I mean, there for a while, I didn't see him for a long time. But I have to admit, after COVID, my sightings with him have picked up. So maybe he's there for sick people. I don't know. But that day I followed him around that hospital, trying to get a picture of him. You'd have laughed. I was waiting for somebody to say something to me. I'd take a picture and look. Take a picture and look. It was like piss. And then when he went through that door, and I got to that door and looked through that little window, and it said no admittance. It just kept walking. I mean, I was waiting for it to turn around and look at me and laugh, but nope, he just kept like he didn't know I was there. Like he's searching for something. No, he's there for a reason. He's definitely there for a reason. He's there for somebody or certain people. I don't know, but he's there for a reason. But what's bothered me is why I've started all of a sudden. I've never seen him in doctor offices. You know, when you go to the actual office, not the hospital. I usually don't see him there, but all of a sudden I've started to see him there. I went to the foot doctor. He was at the foot doctor. And I'm going, I'm like thinking to myself, is he following me? But it wasn't him by himself. He was with somebody else. But the foot doctor is attached to the hospital. So I should have added that. But he was with one of the little ones. Now, you got to remember, this kid's about, in my age, if you look at him, you'd think he's probably about 12. And when I saw him at the foot doctor, because like I said, the foot doctor's office is, and a bunch of offices connected to the hospital. And I saw him and the little boy, they're dressed exactly alike, walking down the hallway. That was a while ago, though. I freaked my surgeon out on day. I saw his face and instantly saw what would have happened to him. I told him he needed more rest. He was going to fall asleep behind the wheel. His face turned white. That happened the night before driving home. We ended up talking, and he opened up to me. He talked about him driving during my officers. There you go. He thought I was a witch. Man. Yeah, well, you get that, Edna. It's just the way some people come up. But see, I know people hate that word, but I think people are now, you say witch, they're gonna look at you. Now I brought witch, and I've actually heard people go, good one or a bad one. Wiccan, and then start laddering them off. I don't know. I don't know all the little witchy sorcerer stuff. I purposely know stuff. I do know stuff, and I know where to go look to get information about stuff. But there's a reason I don't. There's a reason. I know what I need to know, and that's where I stopped. Because the bad stuff is bad. And I know there's good witches too. So I know. That's pretty wild when your own doctor says, oh, you're a witch. If I was a witch, why would I be here? No, Dr. Cooney saved my life and many others. He's the guy that invented, the opposite sword. Okay. I'm a walking today because of him. Yeah, there's a lot of good guys out there. Well, it's funny. When I was in high school, my senior year, I'm standing at the smoking lounge, having a smoke, getting ready to go to, I think it was, I only had 3 classes because I'd go to school for 3 classes, then I left and went to work at Bonanza. Excuse me. I'm having a smoke. I was going to go to, I had to go to gym class. I didn't mind gym class, but I was waiting, having a smoke, getting ready to go to gym class. And this girl comes out. And out of the blue, she goes, you see stuff, don't you? And I go, who told you? Because Dan. So Dan was one of the few friends. He was like, I know Dan. He's another one I've known forever. He always makes a joke at it. And she goes, are you a warlock? I go, no, why? She goes, aren't you like mystical? I go, no, why? Because Dan makes you sound like you're some kind of wizard or something with the stuff you've seen, the crazy stuff you can do. I said, I can't do anything. They come to me, and she started asking all kinds of questions, but she thought I was a warlock. I was like, holy crap, no. I'm just an innocent kid that sees weird stuff and has, I didn't know I had Tourette's then because I didn't get much bullying about it. But I know there were kids that had said things to Dan about me. I'd just sit in class, and this is what I'd do. I wouldn't realize I was doing it, but I'd be writing and going a mile a minute. Only one teacher asked me to stop once. And he didn't after that. And that's only because I had some words to say. He shut up after that. But it'd have been nice to be able to say, hey, I have Tourette's. You can't try. Back then that's about the time they were trying to push Ritalin on me again, because they were, you're hyper. You need to take Ritalin. No. It will make me worse. Please stop. Don't. Yeah, she actually called me a warlock. And I was laughing my ass off. I didn't even see you typed it until after I said it. But that's what she called me. And I'm like, so I had to go have a talk with Dan. What do you tell these people? Because, well, you're into martial arts. I've seen you pull off some pretty crazy shit. Pardon my mouth again, you two. He goes, and then on top of that, how many times I've been with you and weird stuff happens? And I go, yeah. He goes, doesn't that make you a warlock? No. Hey, you dumbass football player. Then that's what I picked, Pardon the mouth again, folks. But yeah, I thought I was hilarious. I laughed about it. I picked on her for days about that. You want to come over here to my house and help me cast spells? And she would just laugh. And then there's one girl goes, she keeps saying that to her. She can actually start to believe that it's really true. But yeah. I had friends, but because of some of the weird stuff. Because when I was seeing, here's the thing. When you're in a high school all day I graduated with a few hundred kids. I mean, I graduated kids I never met. That's the God's honest truth. It's weird because when you see things of other people and you're in a high school full of kids, most of them, ending, beginning puberty, just all that energy. Honey, there was days I was lucky that I made it through half a day without losing my cookies with the things I seen following kids and teachers. It would drive me nuts. I was always so happy because at Bonanza, at least I had a little control. If I go to Bonanza and I'm busting a table and I see something I don't like, I just go back to the kitchen, hang out in the kitchen for a while and hope it leaves. But in high school, it's not so easy. Now, it's not so bad at work. As the years when I was working, at least I was able to, cut myself off a little easier. I still saw it, but at least I could leave the air. But in school, it's like it was all around me all the time. When people say that to me now, I just say, be thankful I use my powers for good. Yeah, really. It's just, what you do is you keep an apple with you. You want to buy an apple? That'll scare them away. I was laughing at that. I finally saw the trailer for the Disney Snow White with. Who would post Wonder Woman as the evil queen and her be jealous of that Snow White? Just makes me crack up because Gal Gadot, however you say her name is, she's a hot little cookie. And she's a tough one. She used to be an Israel soldier, so they all do their time for their country. So she already knows how to shoot, fight, and put up she already knows how to shoot and put up a good fight. So when people say it, I would. That's 2:07. I think I'm going to call it. Things are kind of thinning out now. I hope you enjoyed yourself. And if you have any more questions, let me know. Email me. If I didn't answer anything, let me know, and I'll email you and give you specifics if you want them. But I don't think it was there for you guys. I think it was more shocked that you saw it, because now you're going to have that happening now, and where things, if they see you seeing them, it's going to shock them. Just remember, if it does see you, you need to be prepared for anything. Okay? Because sometimes they don't like it when they're being seen. Most of the time, they will leave you alone and focus on their job at hand. Because in a way, it's kind of their job too. So just make sure you be aware. Everybody have a wonderful night. Have a blessed Thursday. I will see everybody Friday night with Miss Gemma, our lovely oracles, and at 7:15. Like I said, show up early because she's been showing up early. If she can, try to get your name on the list by 9:30. She only changed it at 9:30. That way she can kind of feed out the night so she can have a little time before they get back. She can have a little private time before little man comes home, which I totally understand. And then I'll be here Saturday night. Remember if you bought Gemma's book, please go back and leave a review. Leave some good stars. Check her books out, all of them. Her 2 new ones. You guys can give to one of the apps, please do. One of the apps, please do. It helps to keep the channel. I'm hearing that SteamYard might raise their prices. So just help us out if you can. If you can't, that's fine. We're all in this tough spot, so we get it. Should I confront them ghosts? Real quick, not if necessary. Act as an observer at first. You'll get your answers as you can. I'm told I'm just an observer. That's one of the reasons why I try not to interact as little as possible. If it's something really bad, I try, but no guarantees. So I've always been, just like you saying, not whistle in the woods. In this case, I would honestly say, if you don't have to interact with it, don't. Don't, because sometimes interacting with it, will definitely let it know that you can see it. So as far as, even if it acts like it knows it can see you, if it knows you can see it and it acts like that, just ignore it. Just kind of brush it off and go about your business. which is hard to do sometimes. So just, do the best you can. But I always try not to interact unless I absolutely have to. Simple as that. That's my personal take on that. But everybody's different. Everybody sees different things. So you're going to have to now work with yourself to learn how to read when is the good times, when are the bad times. When's the time to keep your mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Everybody have a wonderful night. So use the rules of the hills. Basically, yes. Go with your gut on that, too. But in most part, I would say just observe. Because a lot of times they may look at you, but it may not be looking at you. So just observe as long as you can. Don't interact unless, and another thing real quick, don't interact unless you see it getting ready to interact with you, or if it tries to interact with you. Then I would, depending on the vibe you're picking up, that's your call. But if you're not liking the vibe, or if you can't pick up a vibe, do not interact with it. Move along. That's fine. Email me later. Have a wonderful night. Have a blessed one. And I'm going to try it again. You guys are great. I love you all. And I will see you all on the flip side of Friday. Please have a wonderful Thursday. And I'll see you around, guys. Take care.